Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another weekly dose of aviation. And coming up this week, fuel becomes expensive, a plane goes around due to some fireworks, and the Americans destroy their own planes. So all of that is yet to come in this video, but first of all we start off in France and Paris-Orly Airport, where an EasyJet A320 aircraft had to abort its landing due to fireworks nearby. Whilst the pilots were coming in to approach into the airport, which was Paris-Orly, they noticed smoke and fireworks close to the airport. They didn't know what this was, so they decided to keep it safe and they proceeded with a go-around. As you can see on flight radar, the aircraft then did a loop and landed back on the same runway as it was meant to. Overall, this only caused about 10 minutes of a delay, so it's not too bad, and all the remaining aircraft that were behind the EasyJet did land normally. This is just a one-off case and there will be no investigations as it's not that important. Now we move to the Middle East for a bit and talk about two C-130s that got destroyed, and it was actually meant to be destroyed. So these C-130s landed in Iran and they were there to rescue the stranded F-15 pilots that got shot down. The pilots did apparently survive, so it was basically a rescue mission. But the USA Air Force didn't count that they're landing on a desert and they got stuck. Because they are run by some very intelligent people, the aircraft were just stuck in the sand, so we decided just to blow them up. As we all know, this is a really reasonable thing to do. That definitely wasn't the only option they could have think of, but it was just a couple of £1,000,000 and dollars worth of damage, destroying two perfectly good aircraft that they could have just towed or just found another way to get back. But that basically sums up what happened, that the USA Air Force is now blowing up their own planes. So sticking in the Middle East, we talk about airspace closures across Europe and the Middle East. So as you can see from flight radar, the airspace around Iran is still, well, it's meant to be open due to the 2-week ceasefire, but most pilots are still trying to avoid it just in case something does kick off. So as you can see, these leave blank spaces on flight radar which just look like a normal map. And you can also see the same thing happening in Ukraine, where Russia is in war with Ukraine. So this obviously causes quite a lot of disturbance within the aviation industry, as a lot of the aircraft do have to add an hour or maybe two to flight plans just to go around and avoid them areas. So obviously during this fuel crisis now as well, it's really not ideal and the aircraft are still avoiding the area. Talking about the fuel crisis, many of the airlines around the world are trying to limit the CI index for the planes, meaning they have a less steep approach and takeoff just to save fuel, and the engines basically just run slower. So this is an effect of saving fuel, as the Ryanair CEO has said that there may be some fuel shortages across May through the summer season basically due to the war. There are still a lot of reserves at the airport, but these aren't long enough to keep it going, so we would ideally need fuel coming in to the airports at a decent rate. So the Ryanair CEO has said that there may be some delays, but Ryanair said that they will try and keep everything running smoothly. Obviously we don't know how the situation in Iran is going to evolve, so it's pretty much hard to say at this time how the situation will look in May. But there is also, well, a chance that a lot of flights might get cancelled if this continues just due to low fuel. And this isn't even about low fuel, the fuel costs are also going higher, meaning airlines have to spend more money on fuel, then resulting in higher tickets of prices. So obviously this is not convenient and it will mean you probably will have to pay more this year for going on holiday, for example, just due to the cost of fuel. Now we go over to America and NASA, just to speak about the new Boeing 777. Also huge congrats to the Artemis 2 mission, which did land safely after a 10-day trip around the moon. So recently NASA started to modify the first 777 that they have acquired. They brought this aircraft from Japan Airlines in 2022 and are starting to modify it now. We don't currently know what it's going to be used for, but we possibly could be used for some scientific research at higher atmospheres, so we might just fit it with more reliable engines that can work at higher altitudes, and possibly just things like that, so they can go higher and just see like different pressures and stuff. Obviously we don't know much about this yet, so we'll see how it goes. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that basically sums up this week's aviation news. As you can see, not much happened. We had a lot of funny stuff kicking off, as I said, with the guy climbing on top of a C-130. So it's been quite a chill week, no major accidents. So I'll see you guys again next week. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And that's it.